That one is magic defense piercing. You know how I'm like, Mega Flare should pierce your magic defense. Well, fine. They'll give you a super dragon that can do a tidal wave that pierces. Oh, we need the mind flaying thing again. This game is killing me. In real life, I'm taking HP damage from this game. Oh, thanks, Shinru. I mean, I should have remembered, you know. We didn't even... Right, because Butts counterattacked it this time. How do we take so much damage? Stop taking so much damage. Is there like a save point? No. I don't care, Crystal Dragon. Alright, so... Another one of those noob-slaying bosses. If you didn't bring the one thing that keeps you alive, you did. I actually don't know if there's any other way to even survive it. But yeah, if you can't absorb water, you're dead. There's nothing you can do. Hey, Alejandro. Is there anything else we want to equip? Well, at this point, preserving MP is not very important. Let's go... I don't think he does a counter, but I don't remember. I don't know. We'll boost our magic up a little bit more. Yeah, we'll see. Alright, let's try this again. Yeah, last time he just one-shot us as usual. Might need to turn the battle speed down a little bit for this to be less deadly, but... Now, I kind of remember him being immune to Holy or something. There you go. What we do want is... Good start. We do want to cast Hastiga because we don't get free haste anymore. And hope that we can out-damage him. Out-heal the damage. Now technically we could put Reflect on. I don't remember if it actually protects you from anything on this fight. And then if you couldn't cure a guy, you'd have to use White Wind. You could try the Apollo Harp. No. we used that once. Mega Flare, dragon versus dragon, right? It does some damage. Ice Storm. Ooh. Yeah, well, I mean, what was I supposed to do? He Maelstormed us and then Ice Stormed us before we had a chance to heal, so... Oops. I don't have 4 Ice Shields. Nothing I can do about that. Cool. Good fight. Having a great time. I love Final Fantasy V. Possibly the worst Final Fantasy in the first 9 games. Getting up there. I'm not even sure why we cast Big Guard at this point. Doesn't seem to do anything. The real-life psychic damage headache is getting serious. Alright. Hastiga. Oh, good. How did he get an action while I was in the menu? I wonder if the game has accidentally switched me back to active mode. Fine. This is stupid pole harp. Nope, I pressed the wrong button. Good job. Well, 2 people are dead. So we have a level 3. You can't fight him when you're a multiple of level 3. By the way. Doesn't matter, Lena's dead. I mean, it's over. We'll be dead before we get another turn. Ah, good, the healer. I can't even use items, so that's it. 50-50. Boy, I love fighting Shinru. Real good fight. I should make another autosave. I wonder if he's worse in the Pixel Remaster, honestly. I just wish the ribbons did anything. We've been trying to keep track of changes, and I mean, I'm pretty tilted today anyway. But I wonder if Shinru is actually faster or something, or more scripted worse in this version. Honestly, the Mighty Guard seems to do literally nothing. Yeah, you float. I keep forgetting to double check my what's it called? Waiting or versus active time system. So we can't use Spellblade if I do the harp strat. So you're comparing. I think 8 hits at flare. I think you take a turn to set up, but I'm pretty sure rapid fire flare blade would do more than 16,000 damage. Not much we can do with Kryl here. This won't heal enough. Well, I mean, technically you could heal everybody else and kill yourself. Would that be worth it? Well, we're trying not to have people die because then we lose all our Protect Shell Hastiga. I don't remember if there's any tricks that work on this guy. I think he's immune to pretty much everything. Well, someone's dead. Oh, look at the... This boss is stupid. It's just a... Maybe you can get him with old, I don't remember. It doesn't matter, we'll never get a chance. Old only works if he... Like, level 2 old only works if he's a multiple of level 2. The level 3 flare is not cool. I could have summoned Phoenix twice, I guess. That might have been better. I should have dual cast Phoenix. Lena always doing a rise is not going to work. Oh, good. I forgot to put Golem out this time, but I've been a bit busy. Karada MP. Oh, that didn't take very long. That burned out real fast. I mean, we're not even really attacking. Oh man, Cure is so bad. The curing magic doesn't scale very well in this game. Let's see, got a bunch of these. Let's try to pump out a bit of damage. I don't think Butts has had a turn since, like, his first turns. Not a great deal for him. So yeah, Shinru has Mighty Guard up, which I think he does when you're at half his HP. So if you do enough damage, you can kind of bypass it a little bit. But we have not been doing great on this fight, just to be totally honest. Right, I've been trying to get away from this friggin' harp. There's no time for experimenting. But he keeps dying. What did I want? Like, Excalibur... And honestly, the dodge chance to not get one shot by the punch would be quite useful, which is why we used to have this one. No, this one. At least we can get that on. If I can get White Wind off. Okay, everyone should be healed. There's so much lag when you have this menu up. It's really weird. How are we looking? Everyone's... we're just going to top everybody else off. And, I think everyone's hasted at the moment. So we're actually making a little bit of progress. You could try putting ult on him. I don't know what the odds are. No luck that time. Should have cast Libra on him, see how much HP he's got or something. Ferris with the dual flare is the only one getting any damage in lately. Oh, ran out of MP. Good. Nice. Poison is actually... okay. He knows that spell too. The level magic is just so stupid. What am I going to do? What we should have been doing from the beginning. Just finish him off. He's about to die. He's almost dead. I believe. I should have used the Fuma Shuriken from the beginning. We should have just gone quad mime strat. One with throw, some healing in there. Defense piercing, so classic ninja saves the day. Alright, so all those other ideas were terrible ideas. Anyway, we got a new sword. It's pretty good. It's a lot of damage. Now you won't get like what am I trying to say? You won't get the 25% block. You could probably make an argument that it's definitely better than the Holy Lance. And we could try, as we get close to the end, to go back to our chicken knife strat. It's getting pretty strong. It's up to 82 base, which is better than 82 base. Anyway, let's go back to non-counter Shinru build. I mean, that's the hardest boss in the game, so it's just a very gimmicky boss. Like, it's not... It always is a bit frustrating that it's not really... The challenge is, like, you have to have the right equipment or else you've got zero chance. And that always kind of frustrates me a little bit. It's not like you need a lot of levels or anything, or you got to be tactical. It's like you die until you bring the right equipment, and then he's mostly survivable. I don't know. It's just kind of a weird design. I don't know. That might be cheaper than using Cure Ones to heal. Anyway, that's done. Let's just in case we die from a random encounter, let's throw a quick save in there. We got another badge, didn't we? Dragon Seal. Yep, that's us. Totally did it first try. Oh, we still need to get the what am I trying to say? The Mind Flare. We need to get that ability. Okay, apparently he doesn't have any magic. But there, that's all we need. Alright, Mind Blast. All the blue magic is got again. We don't need any more white robes. I mean, they give you a Fuma Shuriken right around Shinru, so maybe the game is like, you know, Blue, you should probably be throwing this at that big dragon. Even running away is slow. Like, I think my biggest gripe with the Pixel Remaster for Final Fantasy V is, like, everything feels very slow. The battle start, battle escaped messages, scrolling through the menu, going back to the main menu to switch around. Oh yeah, these guys. We want to kill them if we can, I guess. I know they've got some kind of trick. Right, MP. Level 52. Almost dead. Weak to fire. Well, if only I had enough MP. Alright, there's your Delta attack. Cool, cool. And move around a little bit. Hey, Draco. Dracoin? Dracoin? Hello, anyway. Flame Scroll doing way more damage than Ifrit now. Did that just time out? We didn't get nothing. We didn't get nothing! Such a weird encounter. I want to see that encounter one more time because I feel like we got ripped off, you know. All we gotta do is throw flame scrolls, we'll be fine. Okay, so we can get a save point over there, but we have to fight a boss for it. Let's see if we can get a mine, whatever the movers are. Oh, thanks for zombie powder. That's great. There's not enough ways to be immune to zombie in this game. Too many enemies that just one-shot kill you, and zombie might as well be even worse than one-shot killed. This is easily a game over if we don't run immediately. So, because every time that happens, you're like, well, gotta use a whole bunch of resources. Come on, give me the movers again. Hey there, Tayo. Yeah, just trying to wrap this game up so I can put it in the dumpster fire. I don't want any Gorgorimas. We fought these guys. I just want to see the movers one more time. I wonder if they're a rare encounter. We had one chance, and then we took too long and they ran away. Actually, I don't even know if they run away. It's like the battle just ends, time's out. You have 10 seconds. Come on. We're almost done. I just want to show off. I don't know why. This is part of why the game goes on for so long. Because I'm like, I want to show stuff off for the future tubers, the live tubers. And then we end up spending half an hour just trying to run away. This is great. There is a command, as always, if you're frustrated with running away, you can just equip the command auto run. It's not just the version, Tayo. I don't think Final Fantasy V is as good as people like to think it is. This one, because I've been playing them all in order, I've been playing them through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all in a very, very similar format. I think it showcases the flaws of 5 a lot bigger than what I often would see. So, comparing it to the ones I just played recently, yeah, I think this is the worst one of the batch. For a variety of reasons. I mean, Final Fantasy II is wonky with the level system, but it wasn't as frustrating to play as this. Not as many cheapskate enemies and just the slowdowns, you know. The game, there's something about this, I don't know why, but it feels like it's just slowing to a crawl. Every battle you have to go heal up from, almost. Nearly every battle you have to heal up from. The bosses you can just one-shot with a single combo or whatever, and then every random enemy you spend 5 minutes running away from or healing. A little bit of an exaggeration, no doubt, but... Alright, well, we saw the movers once, the first encounter on this floor, and then we've never seen them again, so we're just going to forget that they even exist. I think they give you a lot of job points if you care about job points. But apparently we're never going to see them, and I'm just going to go crazy getting mad at this game if I keep staying here any longer, so... Yep, kill my mage again. Ah, you know, the thief knife. That was the thief that let us run away. Or not the thief knife, the chicken knife. Alright, well, we have to fight a boss. And then we can heal. And when I say fight a boss, it's... Oh, ha-ha, game. Very funny. Friggin' game. This game's the worst. She doesn't need any MP. Should be fine. So there you go. 150,000 gold, now that you're at the final dungeon with nowhere to shop. And 200 job points. The most job points. It'll level you up all your jobs if you want to master all your jobs. With payment. With pain. Bunch of stuff you don't need at the end of the game. It's the Nemesis. Barrier, yeah, let's not talk about it too much. He's invincible! Well, I wish I had some MP on Ferris now. Because we need something that gets past Reflect. Oh, like this is... Remember we were talking about the game grinding to a halt. 4 barrier enemies doing the spell casting reflect animation. Oh, it just slows everything down so much. At least the first dual cast skips the animation on Mega Flare. You only have to watch it summon the guy once, right? So that's a deal. Here, have some scrolls. Some ninja scroll guidance. Nice. No, my invincibility! You left me no choice. Oh no. How dare he literally do nothing? We're supposed to be blind, I guess. Yeah, we didn't have the weird slowdown in Final Fantasy 1 through 4 Pixel Remaster either. It's weird. What would I do to improve it? We've talked about it a bit before during the stream. The job system has a good base, but it falls apart because of all the menuing. One of the main things I would do is not require you to change jobs to cast magic in the menu. So if you go to the menu to heal, it is, you know, there's nothing stopping you from changing anyone to white mage, black mage, red mage, time mage. So the magic command should just allow you to use anything from there. That would save a lot of time for micromanaging that. Job system wise, there's too many abilities and jobs that are completely trash, and the way to fix it, or at least make it less useless, would be to combine commands to at least a job command. So like the monk has like focus, kick, and that chakra, he's got 3 at least. Just have like a monk command where you equip the monk ability, and then a sub-menu where you can do any of the monk abilities. You might need to do that for like all martials, so that just groups them all together or something. That would be better. I kind of think passives should apply to other jobs once you master a job, or when you learn the ability, rather than having to take up your only ability slot. Only being able to equip one ability slot for the entire game, other than the end game here with freelancers, basically means every time you learn a new ability, you never get to use it, outside of some specific ones. So once you get good ones, like, I don't know, whatever you like, two-handed, dual-wielding, the good ones, the other stuff just, it's so bad it has no place in the game, basically. So it needs to be balanced better for the job system to actually stop learning 90% garbage abilities, you know. And there's a lot of class balance. Axes and spears are underpowered. Swords and katanas are overpowered. Geomancer... There's too many random... I guess... Are we supposed to still be fighting this guy, I guess? I don't know. Just hit him. Geomancer and Dancer and stuff. There's a lot of random abilities that are only good 1 in 4 kind of thing. And they're not good enough, right? Like... Alright, goodbye, Gilgamesh. You're a true bro. It's not like we could do 9,999 damage. Yeah, the Bard is not good. I know there's a couple people that really love the Bard, but he's bad. We've tested him out. We've used him. The songs are not good enough. If you stop playing the game and nobody attacks your Bard, yes, you can technically level all your characters up to 255 strength, magic, agility, level 99, or whatever it gets up to. But it takes so long and it can be interrupted. Like, it's not actually a good job at that point. You might as well just go kill the boss. Giving up 25% of your party to slowly boost the other 3, it's not really a good deal. Even though, sure, you can get to the point where you hit for 9999 if you let the Bard power everyone up long enough, but takes a long time. And you get the situation where, like, there's too many different magic abilities. I don't like how white-black time is split up, really. I think it'd be better if they just shared a magic command. Once you learn it, you just sort of learn it. I don't know. I kind of get how they're going for some of the balance now and then, but... No, like, Final Fantasy V has some good things going for it. Gilgamesh is great. The general basis of the job system is cool, but the balance, and especially the encounter balance between the encounter rate and the enemy design, there's too many enemies that have zombify, insta-death, roulette. Just, you're spending half of the game always going to the menu, resurrecting, healing people. Unless you go first and kill the enemy with your overpowered attack. It just... it's a really wonky balance, you know. Anyway, here we are. Finally. Our favorite tree. Honestly, the story and Exdeath as a villain is kind of ridiculous too. I'm not a huge fan of the overalls. Like, Gilgamesh, props for Gilgi. But Exdeath is pretty lame. He's just a mad tree, you know. I think Final Fantasy V might be the game that starts the trend of really ambiguous villain objectives. At least Kefka in 6, he got what he wanted, so that's why everyone loves 6. And in 4, Zeramis was hard to like. Golbez was a good villain, had a clear objective, and then they're like, oh, but actually someone was controlling Golbez, and it's just some evil spirit of darkness that wants to make things worse. Like, that was bad. I think Exdeath is in the same kind of category of, like, I just want the world to burn. He's not ruling the world. He doesn't get anything. He just turns everything into a black hole. I don't really see what his point is here, you know. He's just a jerk. It's like they did the same thing in 9, in Final Fantasy 9. The whole Garland Kuja backstory and all the plots with the queen of whatever the name of the queen was. Lots of cool villains. And then at the end of the game, they're like, oh, actually, there's some dark spirit that's been making things worse in the background. Like, I don't like that kind of villain, I don't know what you call it, but like, just, there's not really any goal. They don't do anything. They don't want anything. They're just bad for the sake of bad. You know, yeah, Queen Brunhild, that sounds right. She was a good villain, and she had a bit of reason for why she was a bad villain. She wanted power and to conquer her neighbors and stuff. Like, that's fine. For me, you know, big RPG villains have to have some... Like, I don't need, like, a touching backstory. Like, we don't need a Naruto-style 5-hour series of why the villains do bad things. Like, that's not what I mean. But... at least having a reason for them or some objective, that helps a lot, you know. What does Exdeath want? Can anyone tell me what Exdeath actually wants? The power of the void. Okay. He's got the power of the void right now. Why isn't the game over? He just turned the whole world into a black hole. It's not like we can counter the void. Sure, the ghosts of Grandpa apparently can, somehow. But they don't explain why a bunch of dead people can somehow undo the power of the void. Like, legitimately, this is the spirits of dead people that are killing the void. It does, like, the story for this game doesn't make any sense at all. These people are all dead. Like, alright. It's not even friendship. It's an evil tree that summons the void that has wiped out civilization, except that sometimes ghosts can turn it off. Neat. Now he's a big tree. Enjoy! What are we doing here? It's been a while since I've fought this battle, and he is a big fat jerk. I remember that much. Only one target. Cool boss music. Gotta give it credit. Very nice final boss theme. Also, he sniped the white mage instantly. Classic. KO and turn to stone just to make sure it takes a really long time to res her. Oh, and you have to do it in... This is great. We're off to an amazing start. I'm really enjoying this. God, this freaking game, man. If we die and I have to go through that cutscene again, I'm going to be so mad. Alright, Flare doing what Flare do. I don't know if this will last more than 5 seconds, because I think he wipes all your buffs, but, do I want White Wind or Big Guard? Heal. Nope. Throw on... He's not weak to any elements. He's probably weak to water, as it turns out. He's a tree. He should be weak to fire. Okay, Hastiga. We didn't get Big Guard up yet. We'll get there. You could try slowing him. I doubt it will work. I think it's better just to start smacking him. If he absorbs wholly, I'm going to be angry. But he might. No, he doesn't. Good. Alright, so there we go. Wholly doing more damage than Flare. If he's vulnerable to water, man, I don't know what to say. Seems like, compared to Shinru, he's not getting a lot of turns in here, you know? We're getting a lot of actions in a row that he's not getting to stop us. Auto haste is fun times, normally. Alright, I have to cast Libra on him at least once. Okay, enjoy the super laggy rapid fire animation with a menu open. Dang. Did they even, like, test this Pixel Remaster? Another strike against the Pixel Remaster FF5 is there's some weird, crazy lag slowdowns for some of the menu combos. I assume they'll patch it out eventually, but, like, it's been out for over a month. Like, what's going on, guys? Level 77. Hit point. Well, that was a good boss fight. So he killed Lena once with stone death. Remember when I was talking about the game's balance? Yeah. That didn't even really feel like a boss fight, you know? Who said they got killed by this guy? Get your game on. The Hermes shoes really make it a lot easier. You, I'm pretty sure he kills all of your buffs. So like if you go haste, wait, what? Neo Exdeath? You can't have a second form. But yeah, if you don't have auto haste, then he gets cleansed off, and you don't get to do so many actions so fast. Did I fool you? Turns out the tree has another form. And this one has multiple bits. Do you think he cleared our buffs? What do you guys think? Man, just handling the menu is so laggy right now. Haha, Delta attack doesn't work on someone with a ribbon. Suck up. We should use... he's probably weak to water, right? Good old Bahamut. 8 grand to everything. Not bad. Could throw a water scroll. It's probably not that good. But he might be weak to water. You never know. It's pretty weak. Okay, what I want to double check here is haste protect. So we actually kept our buffs between forms. That's very generous. The games often will reset your buffs in between. Yeah, the BlueAnkylo is home after a hard day of work. What am I looking for? So we don't really have an AoE spell on Lena, although we do technically. I could have set this up better, but I thought I was going to do some buffs. Here you go. You've heard of double Bahamut? No, we ran out of MP. Have you heard of quadruple Bahamut, except for when you run out of MP? But it's actually triple, I guess. We're going to kill one of them at least? I don't know. We'll try rapid fire. Trouble with rapid fires, we're going to be doing lower damage to the back row than the front row. I mean, we've got like 30 elixirs. No reason you can't spam them on the final boss. But there you go. Getting some damage there. Almagus, there you go. Special attack. Had worse. Still all 4 are alive. can't remember how much HP each of them has, but Double Bahamut is doing about 9,000 a round, which is times 4, you know, pretty good. Or 8,000, let's say. We definitely want to heal up. Definitely want to heal up. And we'll just double heal. Let's do normal attacks. I could start throwing some cool shurikens. Oh boy, that was some good damage there. Okay, the front one's definitely dead after that. Not bad. Alright, let's throw some cool shurikens. We got 10 of these puppies. I'll try to double throw them because they're pretty cool. You could definitely build a 4-mime, just miming Fuma Shuriken strat for this boss. It's super strong. The laws of the universe are in chaos. But all of those throws has been one shuriken we just threw like 5 times. And I've got 9 more, so yeah, got here. Finish them, butts. Chicken knife, 8,000 damage. We didn't fully power it, so you could have got the chicken knife to 9999, but just to show off that the chicken knife is actually the best weapon in the game. So yeah, overall, ninjas, probably the best class in the game. Between the power of the AoE scrolls and then the boss killing potential on the Fuma Shurikens, I think I've changed my ranking for endgame mode. Rapid fire is nice, but it takes so much longer than just throwing one Fuma Shuriken, you know? You could just have 4 people miming that one Fuma Shuriken for like, well, they'd be about 8 to 9,000 damage each at our level. That's like 32,000 damage per round. Everyone's auto haste just mimes over and over again. Throw one shuriken and do, well, 32,000 damage per round to one target. Probably the best single target without, like, it's probably the simplest. Like, sure, you can cast double flare and it's good, double holy, but those use MP and, you know, rapid fire slow. And, you know. Anyway, there you go. That's the end. Enjoy. Let's see. So final review, final talk, Final Fantasy V. I've been talking about it lots. I have been a bit critical on it, I'll admit. There's been some stuff that's made me a bit angry. There's definitely some like technical issues going on in the Pixel Remaster edition that need some work. Not a lot, but there's definitely some slowdown in battle, especially with big long magic menus and it seems like rapid fire Spellblade, which is like the go-to combo that you'd expect endgame. That seems to slow it down, which is weird. So that's a little unfortunate. But otherwise, I think it's quite true to the Super Nintendo version. It's not that much different overall. Hopefully they fix some of the bugs with like the weapons that don't use agility correctly, but I don't know how to check stuff like that easily. But hopefully it fixed some of the bugs and otherwise is pretty accurate to the original version. I just think, Pixel Remaster or not, I think Final Fantasy V is a pretty overhyped game. I think it was underhyped originally because they skipped it. They didn't even release it in the original Super Nintendo era, right? Not in English in North America. Japan got it, of course, but it never made it to the West in the original form. And usually when I played it was, you know, on an emulator with speed ups and save states, or on the Game Boy Advance, which was a little bit different, had some bonus content, but still on an emulator generally with speed ups and save states. So here we are playing it kind of in the normal mode, kind of normal speed, everything, and also playing it consecutively after playing 1 through 4 very recently in the same kind of format. And this game it slows to a drag. Like, this game takes, I'm going to guess, twice as long as Final Fantasy IV. And longer if you want to master some jobs and try to steal stuff from enemies or any of that, or learn blue magic. Like, if you actually use some of the jobs in Final Fantasy V, it's probably 3 or 4 times longer than Final Fantasy IV. And it's not just extra content, it's going to the menu, swapping out heal or white magic to heal up, buying Phoenix Downs, buying potions, every battle rezzing people that get insta-dead or zombified. It really slows the game down. It is longer. Like, I'm pretty sure there's more dungeons and bosses than 4. So you could say that's a good thing. Like, that's content. But it feels like it's slow. It takes so long. You got this big old ocean with nothing in it. There's 2 or 3 entrances in the underwater area, but it might take you half an hour to find them if you're not using a guide, because there's some of them don't even tell you that there's this cracked seal on the ground there. So overall, I feel like this game isn't as good as... Well, it's definitely not as good as Final Fantasy IV in my mind. Like, again, subjectively speaking, I know other people have their own ways of ranking them, but for my ranking, definitely not as much fun to play as Final Fantasy IV. I have a lot of nostalgia for 1s, so it's difficult to compare for me, but I will always like Final Fantasy 1 more than this. And it's hard to say, it's not like true objectivity, but I feel even by objective margins, Final Fantasy 1 is still better as a game in terms of balance and design and all that. Sure, you don't get the job system, but I would definitely recommend 1 and 4 over this in a heartbeat. And 6 is not out yet, so we'll save that for when the Pixel Remaster of 6 comes out. Final Fantasy 2 is a weird one because it is also broken in balance in a different way because of how the leveling system works in that. But I think the game is shorter, the story makes more sense generally speaking, and although your party is probably overpowered very easily, there's not as many enemies that do cheap attacks that just one-shot you like this game. And that, honestly, is what's sucking a lot of the points out of it for me, is just the frustration enemies, the frustration encounters. King Behemoths that counter with Meteor 4 times in a row, guaranteeing a party wipe. That's just, it shouldn't be in the game. I don't care. That's just dumb. Looks like everything gets revived as well. Everything that actually died in the course of the game gets respawned at the end here. There's nothing permanent about the story. All the bad things that happen get undone by void magic. So, I mean, I don't pay much attention to the story, but I would say the story of 5 is also weaker, and sometimes I don't get enough credit because there is some good NPC dialogue going on. Gilgamesh is really cool. Galuf and Kryl had some good moments. It's not all bad, but there is some bad dialogue and bad plot. So the good stuff and the bad stuff kind of blend together. All the level spells, especially level death, real bad. Too many enemies. Like, maybe one boss or one enemy with it, I'd say that's okay. But even then, that would be the one jerk boss everyone hates. But it happens so often, right? There's so often where you get insta-death nonsense, zombie nonsense, just as you're running around in battles, like, And yeah, there's oftentimes the plus side of the game is there are often counter solutions where if you equip the right abilities, you can avoid them. But that just adds to the time in the menu where every battle you have to build a counter equipment. You have to change your equipment, change your abilities to counter the annoying mechanics. I mean, sure, it's good that you can do that, but do you really want to spend that much time changing all your abilities and gear between every fight? I don't know, man. That's not... I have to give some points for music. Final Fantasy V is not my favorite soundtrack of the series, but it has some of my favorite songs in the series. I'd say overall the soundtrack isn't amazing. Like, there are some average to weak songs, but there are a few incredibly good bangers. This song, Home Sweet Home, I believe, or Dear Friends. This is Dear Friends. I mixed them up a little bit. But those two songs, The Battle of the Big Bridge is a classic. It has some really good music and some okay music. But yeah, I can't hit it on the music, really. That gets points for that. Overall, it's got some good, it's got some bad. I think it is overhyped. I think people look at it as, like, because it's got the upgrade to the job system, people just go, Final Fantasy V is awesome because the job system is awesome. But the job system has a bunch of flaws, so it's I wouldn't say awesome. I think it's a good idea that they implemented as well as they could for the time in the 90s, but definitely needed to, like, it's not finished. Like, there's a lot of room for improvement, and that on its own doesn't bring it up into the top 3 Final Fantasies for me. In fact, honestly, after playing it with the battle and encounter and stuff, I think it's in... Well, I'm only grading the first 10, but it's in my bottom 3 more than my top 3, actually. Which is weird, because the Super Nintendo ones are often the number ones for a lot of people. But anyway, you know, I'm kind of ranting about it enough, but... I guess the main question would be Final Fantasy III Pixel Remaster versus Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster. The two games with job systems. So many eggs from this bird. Each egg is as large as the bird. Yay. Now we have 3 more drumsticks. 6 more drumsticks. I would... If you're a new player... Like, people who've already beaten 5, if you already know the game, you've already made up your mind. But if you haven't played these games yet, I would suggest you play Final Fantasy 3 before 5. Final Fantasy 3, for the Pixel Remaster specifically, is a good version. It's a bit easier than the NES version, a fair bit easier, but that's a good thing. I think for a new player especially, that would ease it in. And I think it has some cheap enemies, but not as cheap as 5. 5 gets more of these cutscenes and story content, but they're kind of hit or miss for me. If you really thought these cutscenes were good and you're mad that I didn't talk about them as much, or read them as much, then yeah, sure, 5 is great. If you think these are really touching moments, then 5 has got a lot more story than the NES versions. But I would say... Battle mechanics wise, I actually like Final Fantasy III's job system, the Pixel Remaster specifically, more. There's no transition period when you change jobs in the Pixel Remaster, so Final Fantasy III jobs you can switch right away. You level up the jobs really quickly, so grinding, like, you spend more time grinding in Final Fantasy V if you want to get job masteries than you do in Final Fantasy III Pixel Remaster. So 3 wins on less grinding, which is a big point for me these days with limited time. The jobs they feel... there's still weak jobs in Final Fantasy III, make no mistake. You know, Bard in that one... FF3 Bard versus FF5 Bard, I don't know. They're both pretty rough. But I would say overall the jobs feel a little bit better balanced. In this one it's like, why aren't you using a samurai, a ninja, or a knight? In Final Fantasy III, it's like, well, when you get a new weapon, you might want to try a new job, kind of thing. The axes aren't quite as bad. They're still not great, but Final Fantasy devs hate axes. I don't know. Is it like an Eastern thing? Do they not use axes in Japan or something? Are they illegal only for woodcutters? I don't know. But the Viking Berserker axe usage has been underwhelming in most Final Fantasy games, let's just say. I'm trying to think of a Final Fantasy that gives axes a good showing. Yeah, the Fire Emblem devs also hates axes. Hector is good despite axes, but he would be better if he didn't use axes as a primary weapon. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm trying to think of, like, is there a Final Fantasy character that actually is good with axes? I don't think axes are even in 6. Does 6 have a single axe? Do they cut them entirely? If they exist, I can't even think of them. 7, I don't think has axes. 8 doesn't have axes. 9 doesn't have axes. 10 doesn't have axes. Maybe I'm just forgetting, but, like, I can't think of a main character that uses axes in any of those games. Or an axe-like weapon. Other than Berserker and Viking, Final Fantasy 3 and 5, and there are some axes in Final Fantasy 4 that aren't totally trash, but they're not great. But, you know, Paladin, Cecil Paladin and Kain Dragoon, they are axe secondary. An axe hand, yeah, I don't know if that counts. There's just not a lot of axe users. Final Fantasy 2, you don't have to use an axe, but it is, I guess it's kind of Guy's weapon. He seems like an axe guy. He might be the only, like, canonically axe wielder. Final Fantasy Tactics, yeah, I don't remember using them. You can use axes, they exist at least, but I don't remember thinking they were worth it. 6 has 0 axes. Dang, they really hate... So, you know, it's no surprise that the last game to have an axe-wielding class it's terrible. After Berserker, axes got cut from Final Fantasy entirely. Sure, all right. They're only for bad guys. Can't, you know, whatever. Square is good at square. Axes aren't squares. I don't know. What else is there to say about Final Fantasy V? Blue Magic, not worth it. If you're playing along, don't Blue Magic. It's got like 2 or 3 good abilities. In general, it takes too much work. If you want to get 100% Blue Magic, follow a guide, but I mean, you're just achievement hunting. It's not going to help you win the game, really. Stealing has the same problem. There are some good things to steal from enemies, but it's rare. You know, it's always a small percent, so reset your game every boss you don't steal from correctly. Follow the right guide, yeah. Good luck with that. There's lots of different guides. So many jobs that I just wouldn't recommend. Aqua Rake isn't very good. It's too, when you learn it, it costs too much MP and doesn't actually do very much damage. You'd be better off with a Black Mage casting Blizzara or Shiva most of the time. Sure, near the end of the game, everything's weak to water, but by then you've got Leviathan. Or Water Scroll. Ninja Scrolls are way better. In fact, I'd be willing to bet that Water Scroll has higher base power than Aqua Rake. Almost willing to bet. Bows suck, sadly, for Rangers for most of the game. They are redeemed a little at the end of the game, where some of the end game bows are pretty strong, but early game bows are terrible. They miss all the time, so you have to use aim, and it wastes your time. But yeah, a Ranger with rapid fire and a end game bow would be okay. Not as strong as our builds, but it would be okay. And unfortunately, the animals, like Rangers with animals, are terrible, and Rangers don't really have any other good secondary abilities, you know. Rapid fire is, as much as 4 attacks that can't miss randomly at half damage seems okay, the animation is so slow, like, it needs to be like double speed at least. The speed is, it's like min-max wise it's better, but in terms of real game time it's worse, you know. I know there are some interesting challenges for Final Fantasy V, but we're not going to really seriously consider them because I'm pretty done with Final Fantasy V for a pretty long time. The next time if I play it again, I'll probably want to play a not Pixel Remaster version, just so that I can use frame skip to speed things up when it's going slow. Yeah, if you could turn the animations off for the Pixel Remaster. Like, a lot of my complaint is how slow it goes. Like, I'm frustrated by how long this game took during the stream. If it took half as long because the animations were faster, there was less menuing and re-equipping gear, I probably would be less critical on it. It's frustrating because it takes so long for a relatively minimal amount of content. It's not like, you know, it's not like there's way more dungeons than Final Fantasy VI. But anyway, I still consider it a good game. In the overall list of RPGs from the Super Nintendo era, Final Fantasy V is still a good one. It is still in the top 50% of overall Final Fantasy V JRPGs. There's no doubt about it. But comparing it to the other Final Fantasies, I am going to rate it pretty low on my internal list these days. More endgame music. You think this end credits is long? Final Fantasy VI's end credits are 20 minutes long before you get to the credit scene, the final credit roll. The music track, and it has like better music because Final Fantasy VI. Man, I could just talk about Final Fantasy VI. The final credits end game after you defeat the final boss in 6 plays every character's soundtrack uniquely with a mix into the final music and gives them a cutscene as they leave the final dungeon, and it all blends together. Like, man, Final Fantasy VI is a masterpiece. Final Fantasy V is like experimental. Anyway, I think for the future tubers, we're going to end the recording around here. I don't want to just smack talk Final Fantasy V. I'm sure people that watched it enjoyed the game. I have a lot of... there's probably more people that watch it that enjoy it than hate it and watch it anyway. So, you know, I don't want to just bitch about it all day long. I've done lots of that. Well, we got some Mode 7 Chocobos, and sort of Mode 7 2D Windrake. Gotta see them sprites. But yeah, future tubers, that's the end for 5. I'm probably done with 5 for a very long time. But don't worry, Final Fantasy 6 will be coming out maybe any time. Could be out tomorrow for all I know. Sometime in February, apparently. So we'll call this a video, and we'll call that a series. One last Chocobo ride. Alright, future tubers, see you later.